Hi Taurus, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing a bonus reading for you guys. You had the highest viewership last week, so I wanted to give you guys a bonus reading. I will start by letting everybody know that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Taurus sign out there, so guys, really just take what resonates for you, leave the rest for someone else. Please keep in mind that the energies can reverse. So if it is resonating, guys, get in where you fit in. But as always, Taurus, don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Taurus? Taurus. All right, Taurus, you are starting out with the Hierophant. Now that is major arcana for the sign of Taurus. You have the Ace of Swords, and you have the Page of Cups in the reverse. All right, so Taurus, I do feel like you are stepping into your power here. You're gaining clarity. I'm seeing that you're getting very honest with yourself and others. And I also feel like you're gaining some sort of wisdom here that maybe you were unclear about in the past, but you're definitely getting the clarity that you need. And I do like this. I like seeing that you're stepping into your power here. There is a sense as well that you are being protected, that you are being watched over. With the Page of Cups here in the reverse, I do feel like you're not really wearing your heart on your sleeve. You're coming across as being, more factual, looking at the facts versus, letting your emotions run the game. Some of you, this could be you engaging in conversation with somebody who has given you this clarity. This could be a counselor. This could be a spiritual leader. It could be, possibly even a psychic or a tarot reader. But I feel like you're definitely getting that clarity. I don't feel like you're really open to new love right now. With the Hierophant, that does indicate possibly being in a commitment or wanting a commitment with somebody. So let's see who's in your energy. Show me who is in Taurus energy. You could be dealing with another Taurus or possibly a Capricorn or a Virgo. The person in your energy has the King of Coins. We have the Nine of Wands in the reverse, and we have the Queen of Coins. So this is somebody who is really balanced in their energy. I do feel like they are heavily thinking about you right now. If there's any issues or problems between the two of you, this person would like to resolve those things. I also feel like this is somebody who has definitely gone through a lot. The person in your energy works a lot. They could be somebody that is definitely worried about well, I wouldn't say worried. They're focused, it would be a better word, focused on their own stability, but they're coming across as somebody who is offering commitment. This person could be a parent. This is somebody who is very nurturing and very stable. So I do like their energy. I really do. Let me see the energy between Taurus and this person. All right, Four of Swords reversed and the Five of Wands. So there's been some conflict here. There's been some conflict. Now, it could be internal conflict, but it looks like there's been conflict that may have caused the two of you to kind of pull apart for a moment. I am seeing that there is communication. And if there's not, if it hasn't already happened, it's going to. Now, this conversation here would happen after a period where you were not talking. Be careful, though, because this person could be coming across a little aggressive, at least initially. So let me see what is affecting this connection. The Page of Coins. Yeah, that's more communication. So this communication is going to be rather important. I feel like you're both seeking answers from one another. And I feel like you do want to talk to this person. Now, you're coming across here as communicating in a very factual manner. Very honest, though. Let me see the outcome. Show me the outcome between Taurus and this person. Show me the outcome between Taurus and this person. So something here has caused a rift. There was some kind of conflict. And I feel like the two of you are trying to work this out. All right. The Nine of Coins. Okay, so that's a very strong and independent energy. It's also a very stable energy. So you may feel this person owes you an apology or vice versa. But with the Nine of Coins, I don't see this coming together. I see, at least not by the end of the week, I see both of you searching for the answers, trying to work this out, trying to communicate, but both of you kind of standing in this strong and independent energy. You may have children with this person as well. Bottom of the deck is the Knight of Coins. This is underlying energy, Taurus, and what that is indicating is that there is going to be forward movement here. However, it's going to move. This is moving very slowly. It's not rapid. It's a very slow moving energy. So let's clarify. Spirit, why is the Hierophant here? Oh, yeah, I see you have the Nine of Pentacles as well. So this is somebody I do feel like there's been a break in the communication. I feel like there's some communication now happening in order to work it out, but it's not exactly what you're looking for at this time. All right, so Nine of Pentacles indicates that strong, independent energy. I see you really working at your money. I don't see you putting effort into this connection currently. There's a sense here that you're going to stay single until this can be worked out in a way that makes you happy, makes you comfortable. And why wouldn't you, you know? Why is the Ace of Swords here for Taurus? All right, Six of Swords and the Eight of Cups. Are you moving away from this person? Yeah, is this somebody that you're in a commitment with and you're now moving away from this person? Because you're showing up here as being single, Taurus, or embracing being single. So are you moving away from this person? Because I see you walking away. I see you being very factual. You're not allowing your emotions to run this game. There's something chaotic within this connection. And I feel like you're walking away from chaos into your own peace. So let me see why the Page of Cups is in reverse. There we have it again, the Four of Swords in the reverse. So you're getting duplicate cards, so the energy is very strong. And then we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse. You may feel like this person that's coming in here, that they're not being sincere with you, that the communication is not sincere. It's almost a sense of this person owes me an apology. They didn't give me the apology I deserve. You know, they're not even being truthful with me. And I feel like you're going to be pretty point blank and let this person know that. Yeah, your energy here is basically saying, I've had enough. Now, let's see this person's energy. Why is the King of Coins here? All right, we have the Sun. And there's the Page of Wands in the reverse. So yeah, this person can sometimes, they can sometimes be very immature when they don't get their way. I feel like during this conflict, they may have been very immature in the way they communicated with you. And that's what's caused the conflict here. And I do feel like this person is aware of that. They know that. They know that you are fed up with whatever is taking place here. And so they're acting kind of immaturely. See, this person carries the energy of the King of Coins, but they're presenting here to you the Page of Wands in the reverse, which is a very, very immature energy. I feel like there are things that this person is not telling you, but they're very clear about how you're viewing this. Let me see why the Nine of Wands is in reverse. Why is the Nine of Wands in reverse? All right, we have the King of Cups reverse, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer energy. There's that Knight of Pentacles again, and the Five of Coins. So yeah, this person in your energy, I feel like they have a lot of problems. I do feel like this is somebody who is they do have feelings for you, Taurus, but they're withholding those feelings. So they're coming across almost in a bratty type of energy. This is somebody who may have left you out in the cold. They may have abandoned the connection, or they may feel that that's what you're doing, because I do see you walking away. But you know, people don't walk away from connections without a reason. Now, I do feel like this person is also experiencing financial difficulties, and I feel like they feel worn down. They're tired, they're exhausted. And so they're kind of, you know, trying to move forward with that. I can see that their money is moving very slowly. And I feel like this is somebody who is just like, they feel tired. They feel exhausted. They're emotionally drained. So let me see why the Queen of Coins is here. Because normally this person, I feel like, is in a, you know, more balanced energy. Page of Cups reversed. Now that's in your energy, yep. Queen of Pentacles, they know they owe you an apology, and the Devil in reverse. This person, Taurus, knows that they owe you an apology. They're very clear about this, but it's almost like they've dug in their heels and they're just not going to give you that apology. And I can see in your energy, you're tired of dealing with that. Now, the thing is that this person holds you in high esteem, but they're not behaving in that manner. So I feel as if they're aware that the behavior that they're exhibiting here is rather toxic. I think that this person knows that you have been stability in their life. They definitely see you as very stable. This looks like somebody you're currently in a connection with or have been. So I feel like this person is trying to work on themselves. However, that being said, they're coming across here as feeling rejected. You deciding that you're not going to have this chaos in your life anymore is making them feel rejected. So I feel like they know they owe you an apology for something here, but instead they're being very immature. They just are refusing to give you the apology. Yeah, but it's so odd because they do hold you in high esteem and they are very focused on you. Let me see the energy between Taurus and this person. Show me the energy between Taurus and this person. Nine of Cups. All right, we have the the Six of Coins. And we have the Ten of Swords. So this person in your energy, I feel like, is very selfish. This is somebody who knows that they're being selfish. They're aware of it. They're aware that their behavior is not appropriate. There's things here that this person is not telling you. They're refusing to give you an apology. They're coming across as very abrasive and very selfish. They're thinking more about what it is that they want instead of what's good for this relationship. I feel like at one point, the two of you, really did vibe together. There's this energy that you both were wish fulfillment at one point, but now this person is behaving very selfishly. In your energy, all you're asking for is an equal give and take. And I feel like you just want something that's balanced. If I give emotionally to you, I want you to give emotionally to me. I feel as if you, at this point, would rather be alone than to be with somebody who is, not putting in the effort, who's putting their energies elsewhere or prioritizing other things or other people over you. And so I feel like you're going to tell that person, you're going to tell this person exactly how you feel. And you're doing it in a very honest but yet non-emotional manner. It's almost like you've extracted the emotion out of it. Let me see why the Page of Coins is here. So you're really putting up strong boundaries. You could be dealing with a Leo or a Capricorn. All right, so we have the Ten of Cups. We have the Three of Coins reversed. Yeah, so this is a connection that is falling apart. It's breaking apart. You're both seeking answers. This person is going through a lot outside of this connection as well. There's a sense of poverty here. There's a sense of, you know, feeling like they're losing money. Their money's coming slow. And so they're not being fair to you. It's pretty obvious here. And, you know, here's the thing, Taurus, is that they know what it is that they need to do, but instead they're like in their ego or something. They're bucked up here and they're not really willing to do that. There's a painful ending that's occurring for this person. And I think that they're trying to, you know, justify it if it's on their side, or if it's you that's moving away from this connection. I feel like this person is in pain, but they don't want to tell you that. They don't want you to know that. So they're coming across here as being really uncooperative and really immature in the way that they're behaving. What's underlying it all is that they feel rejected. They feel very hurt. Now, in your energy, you're moving away from all this chaos. You're like, you know, if I am giving to this relationship, but you're sitting over here in a selfish energy, prioritizing everything and everyone else, then I'm just going to move away from this. I'm going to walk away from it. And what am I doing? I'm skipping the 9 of Cups. You know, I'm skipping that. I'm going straight to the 10 of Cups. I'm going to walk towards my happiness. And I do feel like you're figuring out what is your happiness. All right, so let me see the outcome. Show me the outcome between Taurus and this person. Oh, there's been deceit. Yeah, there's been deceit. And it's not on your side, Taurus, because you have this the King of Swords. King of Swords is very honest, very direct. All right, so we have the Knight of Cups in the reverse and the Queen of Swords. There's the boundaries. Yeah, there's the boundaries right there. All right, so in the outcome, I see that there has been deceit here. Whatever it is has either been discovered and it is out in the open, or it will be if it hasn't been. It is going to create a situation where you are choosing to become single. You're choosing to act in a single manner. I feel like you will communicate that with this person. You don't feel this person is being honest. There's a apology that you feel this person has, you know, owes to you, is not giving to you, and they're not. You're right about that. They're not. So what have you done? You've decided to put up those boundaries. You're willing to hear this person out, but you're not willing to listen to any BS. And this person knows what it is that they need to do. I feel like they've got caught doing something here, and I feel like they were acting single. Perhaps they weren't single. They may have been giving their attention to more than one person, or possibly just another situation, but they weren't prioritizing the connection. So this person in your energy, they do have feelings for you, but I will say that they're not going to budge in this. They've dug in their heels, even though they know they're wrong. It's crazy. That's craziness. So bottom of the deck is the Queen of Cups. That's underlying energy, and it does indicate to me that as you put up these boundaries, you are pouring love into self, and I think you're being very choosy now about where you give that love. Where are you putting that love into? Because the Queen of Cups is very, very loving, very kind, very open, but it's a matter of, if you look, the cup has a lid on it. There's a lid on this cup. So the Queen of Cups is not just like giving out love if it's not going to be reciprocated. I do feel like you are slowly moving away from this person. You've kind of put up your boundaries, and there's something deceitful here that has or will be revealed. And I feel like this person doesn't want to apologize. All right, I'm going to pull an oracle card for you, and we'll see if there's any further advice for Taurus. All right, Taurus. So you have number 43, and it's called Thistle. Let me read that for you. Give me just 1 second. All right, so this is Oh, wow. It says stand up for what you believe in. And that's what you're doing with this Queen of Swords here. It says this wild-haired warrior is a fine example of someone who stands up for what they believe. Defiant and determined, she is dressed in the tartan colors of her clan and is ready to defend her people and their rights. She holds a thistle in her hand, the adopted symbol of her beloved Highland home. It represents bravery, devotion, valor, and strength, all characteristics of her fiery determination. We are often faced with situations that cause us to consider compromising our values and our beliefs. For instance, abandoning a moral principle and bowing to peer pressure because we're afraid we won't fit into a group, or cutting corners in order to save time and effort. It may often feel like the easier option to go against our convictions, but the more we compromise our values, the more of a negative impact it can have on our well-being. When we stand up for what we believe in or speak truth to power, it not only allows us to overcome obstacles and be true to ourselves, but it also builds a greater self-confidence, respect, and integrity. And that's you right there. You definitely are that warrior. So good for you, Taurus. I know this is difficult, but I feel like you're standing up for yourself here and you're putting up those boundaries. And this person knows what's expected or what needs to happen to repair this situation, but I don't feel like they're willing or forthcoming with that, at least not at this time. All right, I hope that this has been helpful for you, Taurus. If you have resonated with this reading, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. And until I see you guys in your next reading, Taurus, know that you are loved, and namaste.